be honest. And I just been like comparing them. Majority of them men are single. And let's say they're in their 30s, 40s, or 50s. They're single. So then I've been sitting back. I'm like, okay, they're wealthy in this aspect of their life, which is finance. But when it comes to like relationships or whatever, they're not wealthy in that aspect. And I know it's because in their 20s or whenever, they dedicated their whole time to achieving this finances that they sacrifice the women. So now that they older, they single. So I've been really sitting back thinking like, damn, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Don't get me wrong though. There are some people who have, you know, women with them. But I've been really just sitting back thinking like, damn, cause like, bro, I don't really go out. You feel me? I'm every single day, nigga, I'm grinding. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't want to be 30, 40, 50 and single. You feel me? Like I want to have kids and shit by then. I want to have a happy family, a loving wife. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that nigga said he got desires.
You feel me? Like
Fuck
that's
you,
like one of my
man.
life goals. So shit, I don't know, bro. We gonna see how shit fold out.
Nah, I
sure.
get what you're saying, but you know, there are things inside of that process that you can hopefully try and do to remedy that. Like, you know, if you have someone that you know what I'm saying, y'all might be childhood friends and y'all done, you know what I'm saying, bumped into each other a couple times, you know? Or y'all done, you know what I'm saying, had relations with each other a couple times and they just stick with you by the time you get successful or something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that is but most of them be single by choice as well. Like a lot of them are paranoid. I wouldn't say a lot of them. I don't know them, but they're paranoid from what women are capable of towards men that do have wealth, or they don't know what's real and what's not. Yeah. So there's a lot of factors to a wealthy man being.
We can get into it, bro. So there's this thing. I heard Carlos Miller say this on the 85 South show. He was like, every man got a heartbreak that changes them forever. You know what I'm saying? So let's say a young man got his heart broken, and he was like, after that moment, he like, you know what? I'm done focusing on women, nigga. I'm focusing on my craft. I'm going up. So that's where that paranoia could come from. They like, okay, I'm grinding. So they achieved that level they wanted to get to with like finances and wealth, whatnot. But then they really did it because a woman hurt them in the past. So then they still had like this perspective of like, women are evil or some shit. All women cheat. Now that I think about it, that could be a reason why I be seeing a lot of this shit.
No cap. Especially when you see one dude and he looks like a brown paper bag, and then you see one dude where he looked like a big money bag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It makes you do different stuff. And so
it does.
You might, you know what I'm saying, make this guy have to experience something that makes him cultivate that mindset within himself. Like, oh, bro, these girls don't want me for nothing except my money. You know what I'm saying? So why don't I just pay for sex? Because that's what a lot of them do, bro.
That's crazy.
It's just paying for sex all the time that they want to. And I get what y'all are saying. Like, okay, no dates. It takes the hassle out of it. No talking. Okay, cool. But that's a part of the actual experience of dealing with a woman, if we want to be honest. Yeah. So, if you that's another thing though, like being quote unquote wealthy is being exceptional in a certain area, and so that is going to take sacrifice from another area,
and it could be very subjective as well to each person.
You could be fat and be wealthy and have a wife and have great friends. You could be fit and not have a wife and be, you know what I'm saying, like it's some area, and that's what it seemed like to me, bro. Like sometimes I might be doing really, really, really good in a specific area, but then another area might just take a hit, just for the simple fact that I'm not spending as much time on it. And I've noticed that in my life in these little few short years that I've been past 18. It's like nothing is really ever gonna be like when you sit in your mind and think, this is how I want this to be, this is how I want that to be, I want this to be in order. It's never gonna be like that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, you might say things like, I would like to be wealthy. That's a pretty general and broad statement. So yeah, that can happen. However, if you go into specifics about how it's happening and shit, that's great for belief and manifestation, but seldom does it actually ever transpire like that.
Yeah.
Just because of all the external factors that you haven't taken into account, and life has taken them into account.
Yeah.
So you something is always going to be a little bit lower. It doesn't have to be to the floor lower, because you can work on that stuff, but something is always going to be lacking a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean you a lacker. It don't mean that you not focused. It don't mean that you aren't well-rounded. You could be well-rounded, but it's just some area in your life, if you're pursuing other areas more than that area is just going to take a hit. Unless you got some automations on that area. Shit, if you got some automation, you got somebody to take care of that area for you, then shoot.
Yeah.
Fine, but you got to be okay with that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Not having everything that you want.
I think the biggest way to just combat that is just to figure out what season of life that you're in.
Yeah.
And you could just make the main thing from then.
Yeah.
And shit, if this is a season of spirituality, this is a season of spirituality.
Like non-negotiables for that season, and then negotiables for that season.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this season, non-negotiables gonna be mental focus. And my negotiables are gonna be physical, social, and spiritual.
Yeah.
And in the next season, I really like that concept. I'm actually probably gonna try that concept for the rest of this year, and just moving with seasons, because I've been, looking at things like the natural order of things, the spring equinox, things like that are actual natural significations of the cycle of the earth, or cycle of the nature on earth.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, okay, if they're following this, if this is the natural way as it should be, why shouldn't I follow this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The best way to just be aligned is just to be aligned with nature, bro.
Dead ass.
Like, if you really think about it, well, not even think about it, but the new year starts in April, bro. Like, I think April 1st, I think I read something, they said that's why it's called April Fools, because they tricked everybody.
Yeah.
But like, the new year starts when trees and everything is blooming again. It doesn't start January 1st when everything is still dead. That's I forgot who made the fucking calendar. Some white man made that shit.
Yeah, bro. And it's crazy looking at all of that stuff, bro. We're not gonna get into a history lesson, but it's crazy looking at all of those stuff, looking at the different calendars that were made, looking at the different maps that were made, and how different they are compared to what people used to use when they were more connected with nature. And so it's really riddling when you see, one calendar have Ak on the name, and it's 10 instead of 8.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't even make sense.
Like it genuinely does not make what is it?
Numerical?
Not word sense.
Yeah. It don't make sense, bro. But yeah, bro. So, and I actually heard 19 Keys say that shit probably about 2 years ago on a podcast, when he was talking about you have to move with in seasons, like the circadian rhythms and shit, or whatnot. And at the moment, like I said, my level of consciousness, bro, I heard it. He planted a seed in my mind. I didn't really understand that shit until probably a couple weeks ago. I'm like, damn, because you think about it, bro, it's getting hot again and shit, bro. I'm pretty sure you feel different from how you felt in January and December and February and shit when it was cold, bro. Yeah. Simply because we moved into another season naturally. So that means we have to move into another season as well.
Wow.
With our mental focus, our spiritual focus, our physical focus, everything has to change.
Literally. And I think that would be the best way to achieve some sort of balance, is to look at the year as seasons, follow those seasons. What is it? 4 seasons? Mm-hmm. 4 main categories for each season, and then do your non-negotiables and negotiables. And that way, at least in that year, you're working on all 4 key areas. That is a way that you can achieve some sort of balance.
Yeah.
I don't think you should even go after that when you starting off, but like it may be the best, it may be one of the best ways to go.
Yeah. I think so, bro. And honestly, bro, like I said, this shit really just hit me like 2 weeks ago. So I wouldn't say I've been doing it personally, but
it seems very interesting.
It is, bro. And if you, like I said, bro, you naturally feel different because when the sun is out, it's more vitamin D, bro. You're going to have more energy and do this and this and this. So maybe you can fucking physical this time. I don't fucking know.